everyone, welcome to the Pedal Show. Viewers, comments and questions, Dan here.
Mick here, hello, welcome, happy Monday everyone. Sorry we weren't around last week. Nice dissonance, Dan.
Like that?
Yeah.
Distance with a purpose.
Yeah. Not sure what's happening with the internet. There's a storm here. I've been testing it all day and it's been fine, and now it's not fine because we want to stream.
I drove to Cardiff yesterday from Swin Vegas, and I think there was a hurricane that I was directly in the centre of, and it followed me all the way to Cardiff. It stayed with me while I live out into a new house, and then followed me all the way back. It was amazing.
Are you sure it wasn't just everywhere?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was just often I have that dark cloud that just sort of hangs over me. This one was just torrential.
Just follows you. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome everyone. Happy Monday.
Yes.
We weren't here last week for one reason or another. We are here this week, and hopefully broadcasting. We will see.
Yes.
I'm getting text messages to tell me what's going on.
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely.
We got 24 super chats in, so I am going to turn them off fairly swiftly. You know what we need?
Tell me what we need.
A desk.
Beep, 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 beep,
Like
beep.
newsreaders kind of deal. The only problem is there'll be loads of clunking with hands on the desk
What if...
and
What?
things. We need to do some rehearsing.
Okay.
Put velvet on it.
Velvet.
Ah.
A velvet desk.
Oh, but
Could
then
it
there'd
be
be lots
gold
of this
velvet?
going, welcome to viewers, comments and questions.
The gold velvet desk.
It's as bad as close as we'll ever get. I think we should do it.
All right, there we are. Hang on. Oh, God, every device is going off. I'm just going to turn the super chats off. BV, thank you so much for everything you do
Yes,
for us
BV.
and for being in the chat. Those of you who've joined us this week, you'll see BV. What's the matter, Bebbers?
Podcast.
Yeah, it's recording.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Just checking.
Thank you. I had hoped by this point we could have a really slick opening to VCQ and not be that sort of thing where people who are new would just watch it and go, yeah, no, goodbye.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah. My life isn't long enough for this crap. Right, super chats are now turned off. So if you've super chatted to this point, we will answer you, but they are now off because we're so devastatingly popular, Daniel. So let us say hello then to Phil and Catherine Musio,
Oh, lovely.
to Andrew Jones, to Plexico. Always good to hear from you, Duncan.
Yep. Kevin Vanderberg. I wonder if there's any relation to Adrian Vanderberg of White House fame.
Maybe. I remember his guitar with the didn't he have the extended cutaway?
Yes.
Because you want to go up there.
If you're going all the way up there.
Hey, Calamity is with us. Hello.
Yeah,
Adam
Mark-
D is with us.
Marcus Reeves is on. Pedro's on. He says, okay, computer.
Wasn't
Yes.
one of the Beastie Boys called Adam D? Okay, special love to anyone who can name all three of the Beastie Boys quite quickly.
Okay.
Assuming there was three in front,
Yeah.
I think one of them's no longer with us, but
I can't stand it.
maybe there were other Beastie Boys as
they're
well. I
amazing.
literally woke up this morning with Fight for Your Right to Party in my head. True story. Woke up trying to remember the lyrics. You wake up, man, for school. You wake up late for school, man. You don't want to go.
You know, the key to that song? Like the song... the key to this song is the bass stays there. Don't let the bass player be too clever
Yeah,
and follow the chords. No, he's just got to go,
yeah.
and then,
Same as I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry.
oh, is it?
Yeah, I know that because I have to play the bass line, which in that particular part of the song is a very challenging A.
Very challenging, hey? I've been called that.
Michael
a time or two in my life.
Michael Giliberto, how are you? Did any Beastie Boys names come in? Come on. AD Rock, Mike D and MCA. Says
There you
Curtis
go.
R. Thanks.
Sharon's TV got that as well.
Ad Rock,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's who I was trying to remember. Yeah.
Mark Hunter said, my name's Mike D and I get respect.
Yeah, Mike D. MCA apparently is the one who's no longer with us. Good. Sebastian Grimm, hello to you. David Wernts, Ellie Noble, Bill Green, Justin Charbonneau. I read that as Justin Shampoo.
Ah,
Yeah.
welcome to the club.
Airfire Ed is on. Simon VRDJ. Lots of lovely friends. Robert Aboy, G Barge.
Paul Matilovich is on.
Tammy the Daddy. Gareth Johnson is on. Hey Gareth,
Hey,
how are
Gareth.
you, bird? This has been making psychedelic rock all day. A welcome distraction from current events. Hope you guys are making a racket. Yeah. My microphone's pointed slightly weirdly. Sword is on. Scott McLean. Amanda Coombs. David F. Curtis R. Hello again to Marcus Reeves. Happy Hockey. Patrick Croce. Thomas Ross. Neil Levine. Are lots and lots of lovely friends. Thank you for joining us.
Beautiful. How nice.
Watching a series at the moment on the BBC, which probably wouldn't have originally been on the BBC, called The News Reader, set in Australia in the late 80s.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm watching an Australian thing at the moment called Mr. In Between.
My
And it's
phone
one
is
of the best
dictating
things
all of
I've
this.
ever seen. It is it is so ridiculously Australian.
Mr. In Between.
Mr. In Between. It's quite violent.
Yep.
It's very funny. Some great characters.
Any
but
Utes in it?
it's wall to wall Utes, mate. I tell you what. Oh yeah, it's very good.
Has anyone's
very, very good.
foot got crook in Tutgaruk? Anyway, there we are. Okay, housekeeping then before we stampede to the super chats. Patron giveaway, we have a winner. Thomas E, based in Herefordshire, UK.
Oh, lovely.
Good beef, good cider from Herefordshire.
Oh, the great beef from Herefordshire.
Yeah. And nice cider. Has won the Thorpe FX Have Blue, so well done, Thomas
Mate,
E.
you'll love that. It's so good.
Thank you to everyone who entered. And obviously thanks to Thorpe. We'll have another giveaway coming up in September, but we haven't decided what it is yet. The USA, all our friends in the USA. TPS is open again for orders from the USA. Not every product, but most of them. We've run some test shipments via various couriers and things, and we now know what the costs are. So we're open again. Things have got a bit more expensive, unfortunately, because of the tariffs, but there we are. That's what it is. So pedals will be up and running again before too much longer. It's all what they call DDU, duties and delivery.
No.
DDP.
DPPDT.
ACDC.
Or something which I heard the other day, which I really loved, which made me laugh. ADGD. That's funny, isn't it?
That's really good.
Isn't that funny?
That's really good. I like it very much.
DDP, delivery and duty paid. So there'll be no surprises when you get your delivery. You will just have paid through the nose in the first place. Unfortunately. Such as we are. In the meantime, we will look at potentially sourcing some shirts from somewhere else, because one of the problems is, sorry, just very briefly, some of our shirts are made in India, right? And there's a 50% tariff on Indian goods. Therefore, we have to pass that tariff, or that tariff has to be charged into the US. So some of our t-shirts have gone up by 50%, which is quite boring. Anyway, moving on. Super chats.
Super chai.
Can you just say thank you to Duncan, Paul, and Greg?
Yes, we want to say thank you to Duncan, Paul and Greg, who've been helping us out with the test shipments. So Greg Barge, Duncan Plexico and Paul Matulovich, thank you guys for your help.
Yes, thank you guys.
It's much appreciated. Dobiog says, isn't DDP a wrestler?
DDP.
I thought it was a former German country, but...
Okay. DDP. I don't know him as a wrestler. Curtis R says, my 11-year-old daughter loves AC/DC and goes around saying, come on, Mark, it's not that hard all the time. Your 11-year-old daughter is an absolute legend. What a superstar.
Lords of Form says, what about ribbon mics then? Anyone got opinions on the lower end of the scale to pair with a 57? You know what? I've been thinking about this today because there's a bit of crackle reintroduced into our guitars recorded, and it's annoying the crap out of me. And I think it might be to do with the phantom power on the ribbons.
On the ribbons?
Might be. It could be any. I've been troubleshooting this week, and I've been troubleshooting things that have taken me days to chase down. So I'd be interested to know as well, but the answer is just pony up, go and rob a bank.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
it's
because
not the answer.
It's not as easy as it used to
Ponying up is not the answer.
It's not as easy as it used to be. Just get some cash and buy the Royers.
Right.
But they're
like 1,200 quid or something, aren't they?
at least.
They're-
At least. Warm Audio makes one that looks pretty decent.
Let's try it out. The warm audio one.
Yeah, looks pretty decent. But anyway, microphones. It never ends. What's wrong with a 57?
Nothing.
Okay. Dustin Thiessen says it's always a lead. Yeah, it is. Scott Gaylor saying he likes the Warm Audio Fentones. Yeah, that's the one I was looking at, Scott. Very interesting.
Wonder War says, very helpful and funny show. Send from Korea. Thank you all. Oh, mate, welcome.
Yeah, James Blessed, it's the cable. We know.
Yes.
We know.
Yeah.
I do. I said in the production video I've got to pull it all apart and have a look, and maybe that's the answer. Anyway, much more interestingly, super chats.
Mm-hmm.
First in this week is Phil and Catherine Muzio.
Lovely.
Hello, Phil and Catherine Muzio. Please explain the 4-cable method.
Okay. So, they call it 4-cable method because it has, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 cables. You have a cable from your guitar going into the first part of your signal chain. It might be a preamp of your guitar, but let's say you've got
Let's say it's the front of the amp.
front of the amp. Okay.
Cable 1, guitar, front of amp.
Cable 2, we're going to split the preamp from the power amp. In the back of the amp, there'll be a thing called an effects loop that has a send and return. And that is basically a split point between the preamp and the power amp. So think of that preamp as another overdrive pedal, right? So we're going to go into the preamp, we're going to get our tone, we're going to come out of the preamp.
Cable 2, preamp send to delay pedal. Input.
That's right. Cable 3, we're going to go from the output of the delay back to the effects return of said amplifier.
We've messed up.
How's that?
That's only 3 cables.
Yes, I think there's a... But that's it. It's a 3-cable method.
No, it's not, is it? Because you do it to the
Guitar.
we've
Oh no, you do it to the first pedal and then the pedal out into that. Yeah, that's... Yes. I was trying to get... Yes, okay. So, grab an overdrive pedal.
How did we get that wrong?
Grab an overdrive pedal. We shot the bolt too soon.
Yeah.
So the first
Cable 1.
Cable 1 goes to that. Out of your gain stages, cable 2 goes to the input of the amplifier.
Yeah. Right, start again. Rewind. Cable 1.
Overdrive pedals, gain stages, compression, anything that goes into the front of the amplifier. And then,
Cable 1, guitar to overdrive pedal.
that's right,
Cable 2.
out of overdrive pedal to the input of the amplifier. Cable 3,
As we were.
from the effects send of the amplifier to the input of your delay, your wet signals. Cable 4, out of the wet signals to the effects return of the amplifier. It's been a long day.
Oh, man.
So there's your 4 cables.
So the point of it is that it puts your overdrive pedals in the front where they should go, and it puts your whatever you want to put in the effects loop after the overdrive in the effects loop of the amp. And the point of doing it is if you run a clean amp, you don't need to do this. If you run an overdriven amp, the whole point of it is it gets the delay and wet effects, maybe reverb, after the overdrive in the amp. So it's just signal chain, really. It's just seeing your guitars, it's just seeing your amplifier's preamp as another pedal, for want of a better
Yeah.
description, but it's just signal chain. It's making sure the wet effects happen after the overdrive.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Sorry, and it was my fault. I accept full responsibility. And from this day forward, it was known as the three cable method. So, yeah, I know. We got there.
TPS wet dry, TPS 3 cable method.
Simon V RDJ says the 4 cable method via the 2 Duffer method. Yeah. It's a fair comment. Michael Giliberto, this is hilarious. Yes. There we are.
Neil Levine, 3 cable method, another TPS exclusive. It says ideal for monks taking a vow of silence. Well, no, you wouldn't be silent. You'd just have all the preamp loveliness from the amplifier, but you wouldn't have any pedals in front of the amplifier.
Yeah. Gene Yohung says if you're using a multi-effects, it's a bit different. The cabling might end up differently depending on how your multi-effects is configured, but the idea is the same. Guitar, overdrive, guitar preamp, wet effects, power section.
Yes.
So that's what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness me. Mummy. Okay, well, we've managed to get one question in. Plexico Duncan, hello
Hey,
mate.
mate.
He says, hey D&M, have you discussed component drift in pedals? With MXR's new Randy Rhoads Distortion Plus reissue, I'd be interested to hear how vintage versions that have aged for 40 years might compare. Yeah, this is a great question.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you look at what components were made out of compared to what they're made out of today. One would assume that we're not going to see the same sort of component drift in 30, 40 years as we have for the old stuff. But it is very, very interesting. And it's one of the reasons why, when you're playing vintage stuff, you have to plug it in and see if you like it. It's got to do with, a number of things. What these components were made out of included some pretty nasty substances, and the way that those things reacted to, it's even just age, but if the pedal has been used a lot and there's been heat around it a lot, can cause the values to drift. Now, don't get that confused with electrolytic capacitors. So electrolytic capacitors are often filters in the circuit. You'll see them often on input and output stages to block any DC. They will break down over 30 plus years and should be replaced as a matter of just having a thing serviced, because they just break down. It's not a design fault. Those old electrolytic caps just break down and they stop working. They don't drift in value. It is a really interesting thing when you find something you like. Find an old pedal and it's like, there's a certain mojo that one has. The problem is, let's say conservatively, you might have a pedal that's got 20 resistors and 10 caps in it and a couple of op amps and blah, blah, blah. To actually work out where the component drift is and what component drift is causing the thing that you like is an epic task, because most of the time you can't just measure across the component, because the component is part of a circuit, right? So to do it properly, you'd have to at least take one end out of the circuit and measure it to see exactly what it's doing. And then if you think you've got to do that 20 times, it's a massive job.
Yeah.
But there are key components like, bias resistors and those sort of things that you can measure and get a fairly decent things that make the most difference in the circuit. But it's a really good thing to understand in those old pedals.
Yeah. I think also, Duncan, your question centered around the MXR Distortion Plus and the Randy Rhoads version of it, the new one. And I think I'm right in saying that they're well noted for fairly significant component drift, aren't they? I'm putting it up there because there used to be one up there, but
and I'm wondering if
we bought one, didn't we?
Yes. And see, that's interesting, right? Because when Randy was using his, it would have been newer and would probably sound quite different than that actual pedal does today.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Well, that's the whole thing with vintage guitars, isn't it, as well? Oh, there it is. I knew it was up there.
So Chris Quinn says, Dan, have you replaced the electrolytics in your old Mistress and your 89? I haven't, for one very important reason. There it is. Yeah, so check that out. An old MXR Distortion Plus, you see how it has no LED in it? Even though it's got the block logo, they were still, at this period, they were still using the cases they had. They weren't drilled. They painted them and used the new logo. For me, they're the best value for money vintage ones that you can get because they're not as desirable as a script logo.
Yeah.
But if they don't have the LED, it's the same circuit.
Yeah.
Magical sounding thing.
Hey Calamity is next in. Hey Calamity, and I believe there's a super chat that's come in.
I'll just quickly finish this one from Chris. Have you replaced electrolytics in your old Mistress 89? I haven't because I haven't had to. That's one important thing for me about electrolytics. When they start to break down, the thing will get noisy. And that's when you know you need to change them. If they're not noisy, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's only when they get noisy that it will happen one day and I'll be sad. But it'll be okay because I can repair it. Fine. Beautiful thing about especially old analog devices.
You
can repair them.
Repairable. Totally repairable. I was thinking about that. I've got. I'm really hoping the Bigsby for my 345 is going to turn up tomorrow. And
I'm really excited to hear that.
And it's sort of, it's slightly with a heavy heart and slightly not because every, 335, 345, 355 tone I've ever loved has either been with a stop tail or a Bigsby.
Okay.
I think the trapeze is more a 175 or a casino thing. Anyway,
I think you're gonna love it.
That's by the by. And you think, wow, this guitar is 60 years old.
Yeah.
60 years old. And it is as good today as any modern production electric guitar.
Yep.
Tonally.
Yeah.
Might be a bit rough around the edges build-wise, but... And you think... That means that in another 60 years, there's every chance it will be a brilliant, brilliant musical instrument.
Yeah.
After I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that that's not a new realization, but it just underlines what Dan was just saying. All these devices, these hand-wired, or not necessarily hand-wired, but, large component repairable analog devices are going to be good in another 60 years. And I just think... It's every bloody reason to buy them.
Yeah.
I really do. Yep.
Scott Gallagher says they measured the MXR pedal that was actually on Randy's board, so it's super accurate to his actual pedal.
Wow.
So Scott, my question is, when did they measure it? Because if they measured it recently, it's a long time since Randy played it.
Would they drift if the thing wasn't being used?
Quite possibly.
Okay.
It would drift depending on the component because they're all different, right?
Yeah.
But they will react to heat and, from just the current running through the board. But that will cause it faster. But sometimes just age with these old things, just age is enough to make them drift. But yeah, we know the sound and Randy's one was a. He also, because he used the deluxe or the mains powered version as well.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, very
Biggest
cool.
factor for me in all of that was he was Randy Rhoads.
Yeah,
I know, it's a bit cheap, but anyway. Danielle Williams, we want to say hello to Danielle, a friend of the show, who says, sorry I'm late, hello from Delhi. I'm here on a work trip.
Oh wow!
Nice, hope you're having fun in Delhi. Awesome. Good. Okay, right. That's one super chat down. No. Hey Calamity had a super chat. And the super chat was, thank you BV for forwarding this. What about then a Hot Rod DeVille 410 paired with the JC 120 as a wet dry rig? What are your thoughts?
Magic.
Yeah, my thoughts.
Absolutely magic. I love the Hot Rod DeVille. They're loud and clear. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah. I guess you've got an additional bit of intrigue there with the JC 120 because it is wet dry within itself, because the chorus only happens in one speaker. Well, the vibrato happens in one speaker, which creates the chorus, right? Yeah,
that's right.
So it is wet dry already. So then you've got a whole bunch of lovely decisions to make about which you run wet and which you run dry, because if you then ran the DeVille wet, you could have like mega awesome
Oh yeah.
wet dry, wet dry, wet dry, wet dry,
Yep.
damp, wet dry,
Yep.
damp.
Like it.
Yeah, wicked. And transients like no other, the JC120. But when they go into overdrive, it's not an unpleasant overdrive, is it?
No.
It's that very analogy transistory overdrive, which is a thing, and it's pretty cool.
It's great.
Pretty cool.
It's great. That's
So,
the
yes.
whole Steve Rothery
Yeah,
thing. Sounds great.
We
Records beautifully.
you won't be struggling for volume, that's for sure. And Johnny T says, is it a 4x10 or a 2x12 DeVille? Which one do you prefer? I don't mind either, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, I would always go with 12s because I just have this weird relationship with 10s. And maybe it's psychosomatic, but whenever I hear one, I always think I'm hearing fizzy top end. And it's probably not the case, but...
Oh, okay. I've heard wonderful sounds out of both of them. I do have a penchant for the 4x10. But yeah, I've heard both of them sound amazing.
Patrick Cochelle says, is the Boss RT2 vid coming very soon? It's not very soon, but it is coming. We haven't actually shot it yet because we wanted to make sure we had a Strymon Lex and we wanted to make sure we had the Keeley one.
Yeah.
So, because we knew that if we didn't include those two, people would get really annoyed. So we've had to wait for those to turn up. Well, we had to buy the bloody Strymon, to be fair.
That's okay.
Grr. So, yes. Yes. Right. Michael Giliberto. Hello, Michael. He says, hey, D&M, hope all is well. I'm working up a duo act, mostly acoustic, but with some electric. How about a part 2 to your prior acoustic episode that would extend to this dual guitar setup? That's a nice idea.
I like that.
That's a
I
really
like
nice
that.
idea.
Actually, have some LR bags. I've got a few new things that they're sending over us for
great.
us to try. Yeah, totally up for it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite formats. That like, there was a period where playing in a loud band out was hard work for whatever reason. So we shrunk the band a bit to being one acoustic, one electric, bass and percussion,
Oh, nice.
and it was really musical
Yeah.
because it wasn't crazy loud. You had all the texture of all those instruments, and as long as you got good vocal harmonies, you can make a really lovely sound. Actually,
Do you remember we were in LA and we were out with Owen Barry at that
Yeah,
venue that
with
was
the
out to-
captain.
with the captain.
yeah,
No,
not
to Neil.
that a different captain.
And after that band, there was a band playing, and I'm looking at the singer, and they had the percussionist on that
Yeah,
thumpy box, and they were brilliant. And I'm looking at the guitar player, singer, going, "Why do I know you?"
yeah.
And it was Tuvok
Yeah.
from Star Trek Voyager,
Yeah,
and I lost my mind.
he was in the band.
He was
You got a
the
selfie
singer.
with
I got a
him.
selfie with him.
Yeah,
That was cool. But that format. It was really great.
yeah. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Nanu.
I know. Yeah, that's a great idea, Michael. Thank you for that. I'm going to screenshot that along with lots of other good ideas. Great. Non-aligned says, is there a particular musician or guitarist that you dismissed or ignored in your youth that you regret? Any act that you could have seen that you regret missing? Yeah, or maybe that we've grown up to and we've realised that they are awesome after all. Loads for me.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them, probably.
Sorry, I just want to...
You got
I
it.
found it. So if anyone remembers Star Trek Voyager, there you go.
So that was in one of the hotels at Nam. What it? No, that was in LA.
No, it was in LA.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
On the flat bit.
Yeah.
When you come down from Sunset, you come down the hill and there's a big flat bit there, which I think is most of the rest of LA.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he was so lovely.
Yes, okay. Any musician or guitarist that you dismissed or ignored in your youth that you regret, or maybe you could have seen them but you didn't see them?
Hendrix. Well, I could have seen them but didn't see them. Or like, I didn't know about Pat Martino until it was too late.
But what about somebody who you knew about but you just didn't like it?
Well, Hendrix, but that was, too late for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's two questions. I think
Hendrix was someone I heard, and just because I found Stevie Ray Vaughan before Hendrix.
yeah,
Right?
Me too.
And when I heard Hendrix after Stevie Ray Vaughan, I was going, oh, it's a bit messy. It's a bit sloppy. Now when I hear Hendrix, it's like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, same, exactly the same.
Yeah, The Cure. And I have seen The Cure, but all I guess I was all the I want to say the goth girls at school, but all the alternative,
Same story.
and I was like,
Same story.
and I couldn't get past the look, and now when I hear it, it's like I missed out
Yeah,
on that music
yeah.
because I just couldn't see past.
I'd say 80s music in general, actually.
Right,
Like the whole Scottish thing with Deacon Blue, Prefab Sprout.
right,
That whole, it just was a very fertile songwriting. I'll try and do this quickly. The Beatles redefined pop, right, and rock music, and had for the most part, a diatonic approach to
yes,
harmony.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
And I think all the second generation so then the 70s was that in part, but it was actually forays into rock. And I think a lot of pop music, pop really changed in the 70s, and there were so many more movements. Prog happened,
yeah,
and like the West Coast of America happened. And I think it was, the songwriting was not necessarily in that vein. 80s comes around, and all the bands start coming back. I mean, even if you listen to Madonna, for God's sake,
yeah, amazing.
if you listen to or Cyndi Lauper, or
the performances on those albums,
but play the chords.
Yeah.
It's Beatles reinvented with different production.
yeah,
And vastly different production. And so I wish I'd been more hip to that. But actually, the thing, I try not to regret anything, but the opportunity I missed is when I was in my teens, I had some epic musicians that I had access to, and I was too scared to learn from them.
interesting.
I don't know about scared, but I didn't know what questions to ask. If it's anything, it's the people that were already around me.
Because they were already around you, I had, yeah.
And
okay.
I was so transfixed on trying to play a blues authentically, or not authentically, as loud and with as much aggression and attitude as it could be done. I missed learning about songs, and I missed learning about melody and harmony. And it's so much harder when you get down the road.
Growing up, I didn't get Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen,
Yeah.
right? I got to see my friend was getting married and got tickets for his stag do. And I went and saw Bruce Springsteen easily one of the best gigs I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. And everything that I'd heard, I didn't like. Watching him live, I'm like, oh, I completely got it. But one thing for me was Tom Petty. I could never get past his voice. Now when I hear him,
Yeah.
it's just perfection, and the songs and the harmonies. It's like, yeah, it is fascinating how if you remain open to listening to music, it's like food. If you remain open to trying things, then your palate changes, and music is exactly the same. And you can go back and you hear music with new ears. It's wonderful. I wasn't a fan of Tears for Fears when they came out
Yeah.
in the 80s, and now I hear it and just go, it's
I've been listening to
absolute.
Was it Big Songs from the Big Chair?
Songs to the Big
I've
Chair.
been listening to that recently.
It's wonderful,
Um,
really wonderful. Yeah,
yeah.
great question. Thank you,
Yeah,
mate.
thank you for the question.
Oliver Boyson says Mike Campbell is everything I want to be as a guitar player.
Such a great player.
Just
It's a very different headspace, isn't it? Just, Dan and I exist in the world of chumming on YouTube, where the sort of expectation is you'll play licks and be a bit flashy and, be a competently that kind of guitar player where people regard a certain type of guitar playing as good. But still the stuff I love are just the parts in the songs.
yeah,
And the chords and the orchestration and the arrangements. That's the bit that gets me. And a chord sustained with a tone,
Yeah.
that I'm still just transfixed by that.
yep. It's interesting though.
I know Campbell can do it all, but I just think he's the master of doing the right thing in the right.
He's a absolute song.
And let's not
genius.
even mention Tom Bookervout. I've been watching quite a lot of homeschooling again just recently. I mean, man, he is the best.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
He is just
Yeah.
the best.
What about artists who you got from the first time you heard them and have just always loved them ever since? Like Neil Finn. The first time I heard what was it? It came. He came all the way from America with a blind date with destiny. As soon as I heard that was it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just the best thing I've ever heard.
I think also you come in and out, don't you? So when when Cat and Crow's hit, for example, when Pearl Jam,
Oh man.
that was I was just in the right place at the right time for that music to hit me right in the nuts.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, I know a lot of Pearl Jam fans are super dedicated and just love every single thing they do. I just got less interested as the albums went on.
Yeah.
And so that's okay, isn't it? You don't have to be devoted. You can just
completely.
love it in its time. Same as Chili Peppers. Like Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I genuinely think it's one of the best records ever made by anyone ever. And it's a bit of genius.
Yeah.
And
The first time
we're lucky to have it.
the
We're
first
lucky to
time
have
I
it.
heard,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what is going on there?
See, that's it. Okay. So, all right, to finish that then, it was all American music for me. I'm not really interested in any British music apart from the Beatles. Maybe loosely on the rock thing, but I just didn't really like rock as a kid. If I like rock, I like AC/DC, I like Bon Jovi,
Yeah.
I like Hendrix, but that's it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And prog rock, no thanks. I definitely didn't get that. So for me, it was American music, and it was anything that was, sounded either a bit blues or a bit country,
Right.
and that I think shut me off to a lot of fantastic music that was happening here, or had happened here.
It's so funny, like being Australian, growing up in Australia. I mean, we had some amazing bands. AC/DC, Midnight Oil, and Split Ends, and they're New Zealand, but in we had some really epic rock bands. Cold Chisel, far out, mate. Yeah. So anyway, that was really great. But all the stuff for me, the stuff from England had a sound
Yeah.
that wasn't available to us in Australia.
Well, it was exotic to you, wasn't it?
It's very exotic.
It was, you couldn't touch it.
No.
Whereas we could.
Yeah.
Because we watched Top of the Pops every Friday night.
Yeah.
And it was just down the road. I got hooked by the Lemon Trees, who were supporting Tim Finn in 1993. Mr. Stacey on guitar. Yes, he was. Yes,
that's
he
right.
was. Says Johnny T. Okay, right, sorry, we do need to speed up a bit. Thank you, Nonaline, for that
Thank you, mate.
question.
Yeah,
Tom Killory. Hi, Tom. Here's the awkward question for us all. If a sound engineer repeatedly tells you to turn down while playing a show, how do you balance being respectful to his mix while staying true to your own sound? Furthermore, how do you stay present? We could talk all night about this. So I'm going to tell you two very quick examples of how I know to deal with it, and then Dan can. Number one, from Paul Stacey. Paul Stacey says, "Can you come and stand here? Band's going to play. Come and stand here. We're going to play. You listen and tell me what you hear." And Paul can do that
Because he's Paul Stacey.
because he does front of house for whatever, and he is a bit of a genius, right? I watched him play a gig recently with two really loud amps, and it didn't hurt at all. The way I deal with it is I say, "Yeah, sure. What do you need? I'll turn down as far as I can until I can't hear it anymore, and then I can't turn down any more than that. Would it help if I twisted my amp to point it away from you? Is it the beaming that's the problem? Or is it the sound pressure level in general? Can we do something about the beaming?" So I'd be asking questions like that. And then know that you can't take up too much time. And then finally, just to say that you've got to gauge the engineer. There's an engineer you can have a conversation with, and there's an engineer who you can't.
Yeah.
And if you can't, how do you stay present? You just accept it for what it is. And if it keeps happening, leave the band. That's how I dealt with it. But
So
yeah.
obviously, Mick and I are big proponents of volume, but why? We use it for dynamics. It's not loud all the time. It's not loud. I mean, it's appropriately loud, but it's, when the singer's singing, it's not a really loud honky mid-range that sits in the same area as the vocal. You've got to do it with sensitivity to what's going on around you. So one question I ask is, does the sound guy have a point? If I'm there and Doug's hitting and I can't hear myself, I need to be louder. It's that simple. And it's like I will hear myself on stage. I have to. I play terribly when I can't hear myself. Everything's from memory and it's just awful. But, there are moments, Doug isn't doing that all the time. And when he comes down, I need to follow that. So it's all about being dynamic with the band.
Dustin Thiessen says 9 times out of 10. Dustin does a lot of front of house work. Dustin says 9 times out of 10, moving the amp around or maybe a little baffling will do the trick. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Dustin, but I guess you're suggesting that it's actually the beam from the speaker that's the issue, not necessarily the overall SPL.
Yeah.
And that can be really helpful.
He also says side firing amps is such a great way to keep your amp working loud on stage and manageable in front of house.
Yeah. It's ebb and flow, isn't it? Because you don't want to be problematic and spoil the mix. You don't want to do that. That's not the point of playing in a band and trying to play together as a band and playing good music. But at the same time, I think the way it's going in some venues that I go to now is the engineer's not prepared to hear any sound off stage And I just think that is the death of rock and roll.
Yeah, completely.
For me, in a venue, you have to hear the sound in the venue's got to be a mix. And of course, it's going to depend on the venue, because this only works in certain size venues, or it only works in small to medium sized venues. Once you get to big venues, all bets are off. But it's got to be a mix of the sound of the back line and the band actually playing and reinforcement from the PA, particularly for vocals, obviously, because you wouldn't hear anything. So I think engineers who really get that and are willing to understand what the band is trying to do and what the band is trying to say, an engineer that's willing to work with that is where it's going to work best. But yeah, if you're playing a small venue and you've got 100-watt plexi and you're too loud, that's what Dan was saying. Maybe they have a point somewhere.
Yeah,
So-
just be open and be, it's interesting because if you're the Sex Pistols and you go into the 100 Club with a 100-watt plexi, you can't go, oh, sorry, I'm too quiet. But if you're going in a cover band, and then it's not appropriate. It's got to be appropriate for what's going on the stage.
Yeah.
And use volume, but use it dynamically. So my daughter played on the weekend. She's flipping amazing. She really is. She's such a talented girl. And there was a band on before her, and they sounded great. And there's a good little guitar player, and he jumped on to play a solo, and I didn't hear a note he played. And I'm like, if the solo was at the same level as the vocal where I could hear it, it would just be wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a real bugbear for me, because they were really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a conversation we'll still be having in another 10 years, I'm
Yep.
sure. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Tom.
Yes, mate. Thank you.
Fat old guy at 5,000 metres. What's your favourite dual sound pedal? I'd love an analog chorus vibrato univibe phaser. I don't use each enough for an individual slot on the board. Yeah, okay. So we're not talking about a two-sided overdrive. We're talking about a pedal that does at least two very specific things.
This is the answer.
That's the bass version, but anyway.
Jam pedals, Ripley Fall, absolute banger.
Chorus and phaser. It's really brilliant.
It's so good.
Okay, what am I going to choose then? I mean, obviously you're tempted to choose a multi-effects because it'll do everything, but I think that's not the spirit of the question. And I wouldn't have a multi-effects, sorry. I would obviously say the Mythos Pedals Argo Boost Deluxe, which is a boost and an octafuzz.
There you go.
Which, for the same reason that you say, I don't have space for both on my board, so we put it into one pedal. But seeing as we have a vested interest in that, let me pick something else. And it's going to be, I want to say it's either the thing we had on the show on Friday, the Crazy Tube Circuits Killer V,
Yeah, man.
or the Origin version of it, Magma 57, I think it's called. So you've got overdrive and vibrato, harmonic vibrato in one pedal. Really cool.
Beautiful.
Really cool. Lots of really cool things like that out there.
Collider.
Yeah, delay and reverb.
Delay and
I think we're
reverb.
going to discount that because there's
There's a
lots
lot
of
of-
delays
okay.
and reverbs.
Yeah.
But yes. Or the Line 6 DL4 Mark II,
Last
Dan,
is the L4 Mark II.
which you might see in this week's show. Sergio Rodriguez. Hey, Sergio. He says, hi, DNM. I'm buying a Zilla 112 to use as an external cab for my Cornell Plexi 7.
Mm-hmm.
Should I choose a G1265 or a greenback? I mostly play Edge of Breakup.
Hard to go past the 65.
I think it depends how loud you play.
Okay, that's a good point. How loud's the Cornell?
7 watts.
Oh,
It's probably
greenback.
proper 7 watts.
Yeah, okay, greenback.
Yeah.
I've got a greenback that I record with, and I can record everything from 1 watt amps up to whatever,
Yeah.
and they're great.
I'm going to say greenback as well because I think it starts working a bit earlier. So
Yes.
if you like the speaker to give a bit and to have that kind of, the greenback is well known for its woody mid-range, and that might be because of the cabinets we associate it with, but it does do that kind of sound. Whereas the GTL 65 or indeed the 65 creamback, two very different speakers, they'll take a lot more and they'll take a lot more to get working. So if you want a lot of headroom and a lot of dynamic range and all of that, go for the more powerful speaker. If you want the speaker to be really part of it and to start working earlier, greenback every day of the week.
Yep.
We
Yep.
would say. I mean, I know what Dan would choose given the choice, and it wouldn't be either.
Correct.
It would be a blue.
It'd be a Celestian blue.
Yeah, and that would be a magic thing. But obviously you're talking about a lot more money.
Yeah. It's my favourite recording speaker.
Yeah, they are.
Favourite speaker all round. I love the Vox thing. They're 15 watts, and they're a magical thing. And once they've worked a little bit, done a couple of gigs being pushed.
You do have to get it happy.
Yeah, because it tames the top end in it, and it just has that crystalline but compressed shininess. Really magic.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Tim Good. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
My physics teacher at school, our physics teacher at school was called Mr. Good with an E.
Oh.
Mike Good.
Goody, goody, yum, yum.
Yeah, obviously I'd have been about 14, so he looked about 80, so he was probably about 40. Mr. Good. Anyway, moving on. Hi D&M. Finally pulled the trigger on a D&M drive. Thank you.
Oh, well done, mate.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
loving it into my newly acquired 1983 GACM 850 watt head. What a fantastic amp.
Amazing.
4x12 cab. I'm in rock and roll heaven. Thanks for all you
D&M
do.
drive into that will be epic.
Thanks for all you do to make us fellow guitar nerds shine. Good for you,
wonderful.
man.
Yeah,
50
well
watt head
done,
and a 412. Rock and roll.
Yep.
Absolute total rock and roll. Good for you, buddy. Curtis R. Hello, Curtis.
Hello, Curtis.
Ends of legs. I have a 335 question. I've been a Les Paul player for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've played the occasional 335 but never owned one. Can you compare living with these two instruments? Much love from KC, Kansas City.
Sunshine Band.
KC. Yeah, I can.
Yep.
Know both intimately.
I'll go with 335. I'll go with Leicester.
Kansas City, Missouri. Here we are. Right. Yes. So what right? It really does depend on what Les Paul you've got. So we're going to assume you have a vintage style Les Paul. Really, it's kind of the same, but with more bass
Yep.
and a marginally less direct note delivery.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So if the Les Paul does this, the 335 does this. It's bigger all around, and the way that the notes bloom and attack aren't quite as direct.
But have a listen to it acoustically. I mean, this the wonderful thing about the 335 is you can sit down with it and just play. And it's not that you can't. It's not that you can't do that with a Les Paul, but
Yeah,
there's something about definitely something about the hollow body. And what's fascinating, anyone that tells you, it's just the pickups, you are not going to mistake the sound of a 335 for a Les Paul. This definitely has a big impact on the...
especially clean.
Yeah.
I mean, under overdrive, you can do everything with the 335
Yeah.
that a Les Paul will do pretty much. You got to watch the bottom end. They can get a bit howly on the bottom end, but not really. I mean, Bookovac says this is all for show. And it's basically a solid body guitar. He does acknowledge that it does create some extra resonance and harmonics and stuff, which it definitely does. So I think if you go from a Strat to a Les Paul, that's going to take you some getting used to. If you go from a Telly to a Les Paul, that's going to take you some getting used to, or a Les Paul to a Firebird. You know, it's such a radical change. This is the same thing, but bigger. Right? Let's have a look at the neck angle. Just hold it flat like that. So maybe a bit more pitch back. So it's going to wrap around you a bit more. And obviously you've got a lot more heft to deal with. So there's a physical reality of it. But tonally, I think you're going to enjoy it. I would suggest, if you've got a vintage type Les Paul, then go for a vintagey sounding 335. And if you've got a modern sounding Les Paul, go for a modern sounding 335.
Yeah.
And then the jump won't be as much. But yeah, I'm such a fan of these things. You know I love Strats, but hand on heart, I think these are the best guitars, apart from Tellys. Because they do everything, don't they? They genuinely do everything.
Yeah, it's magic. I feel.
I love it. I love these guitars. And I love my 345. So, yeah. That's what I would say. Slightly less direct, slightly wider frequency response, certainly downward. And more resonance and developing harmonics and things like that earlier into feedback if you want that with gain. So the massive caveat with everything we've just said, the guitars themselves can vary massively. So
Massively.
definitely talking generally there rather than specifically. Yeah.
I remember having the band I was in Sydney, the other singer had a black 335 and it was a magic guitar and he wanted to sell it and I wanted to buy it. And so I did one gig with it and I loved it. And for the last song, I picked up my Telly.
Yeah.
And at the end of the gig, everyone come up and goes, "Oh my God, your Telly sounds amazing."
You've got to play them different.
Yeah.
You have got to play them differently, that's for sure. And that takes a minute to find out. Not necessarily if coming from a Les Paul, it shouldn't be too different. But one thing, for whatever it's worth, the quieter the gig, the more air I will have in the guitar.
Oh, interesting.
So if the gig's crazy loud, it'll be Strat.
Oh, yeah,
Because
okay.
I can make that work at 110 dB.
Yeah.
I can make the Les Paul work at 110 dB, but it gets a bit compressed. And then if it's a cafe bar gig or something small, 335, 345.
Oh, that's nice, actually.
Yeah. And that enables me to get some feel because the guitar resonates more.
That's a very interesting idea for a show. Grab a 335, a Les Paul, and a Strat. Hear them at 90 dB, 100 dB, and 110 dB.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah, I was due.
BV is reminding us that we did a video comparing 335 to Les Paul back along. So we did. Thank you, BV. Thanks for the question, Curtis, and good luck on your acquisition. Andrew R.
Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. He says, "Hi, D&M. I saw a fantastic outdoor show last weekend. The guitarist had a gold top, Les Paul presumably, a Blues DeVille, a modded DS1 and grey hair. The tone was amazing and it never felt repetitive. Do we overcomplicate this sometimes?"
Yes. We don't.
I want to mention my new friend Paul, who lives in my hometown. I went down the local pub with my neighbour Martin, who I play in the band with, and there was a sort of punk band on, and most of the guys in the band were of age. And the guitarist was a bit younger, and he had a white Strat with a humbucker in the bridge, single coil size humbucker, I think. Yeah, it was like a JB Junior or something like that, I think.
They're great pickups.
Might have been a full size one. Anyway, humbucker in the bridge of a Strat, maple neck Strat, Fender Bluesbreaker, like one of the more modern grey ones, and a really simple pedal board, and he sounded fantastic all night. Whether he was playing rhythms, whether he was playing solos, he was the only guitar player in the band. He was loud enough.
Nice.
He was as loud as the singing.
Nice. Please, thank you. Please and thank you.
He played beautifully. What I noticed about his playing was his intonation and his tuning was bang on.
And what did he say when he saw you?
He said, "Oh, you're that bloke who does the pedals, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And so I'm reliving your experience. I'm saying very simple, good guitar player, sounds totally appropriate for the music, and he didn't have a very wide palette of sounds at all, but it didn't matter. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, do we overcomplicate it?
Yeah, absolutely we can do.
Yeah. I don't know where the cut-off point is. Like, I've been thinking about it recently. There's a show coming up on Friday where Dan and I choose 4 pedals each. And I looked at that board and I was like, actually, that would do. And then I was thinking, but then I want a rotary speaker. And I actually...
Dude, I think your rig, I think, sounds incredible.
Well, that's kind of you. It's a very nice, relatively compact place to be.
Yeah, I everything, there's so much scope, but all of the things that you've chosen and the rotary and the chorusing and all that stuff, as in like, you know, what you've done with the delay and the slapback and stuff, like, and the reverb.
Yeah, the reverb.
It's such a magic sound into the 2 amps. It's yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you. It is. But yes, we fully hear sometimes you're sort of screaming out to simplify because all you want to do is play the bloody guitar, don't you? Rather than be doing all that. Yeah. Actually, obviously Dan and I live in a world of a certain demographic and a certain mindset of player, right? So Dan might be via the gig rig a bit more, but I'm certainly not plugged into what 18-year-olds are doing. So I don't know what 18-year-olds are doing. But rock and roll is simple affair, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
It is until it isn't.
Yeah.
But at its heart, definitely. But it's definitely attitude.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was telling Mick, there was 4 bands on with my daughter, and they're at the thing called the Swindon. What's it called? There's a little. Every year they have a few bands on this little venue.
Yeah.
The 4 bands on. Everyone's got their gear lined up the side, and every guitar player was using an amp, and it was heartening to see.
That's really good.
It was really good.
I was very dispirited watching the Reading Festival and just how many guitar sounds were direct. I was watching a band that shall remain nameless on the telly this week, and I was just struck with how loud and present and full and fat the guitar sounds were. I was like, wow, that sounds really good. And I know this band to not use tube amps. And then I listened a bit more and I kept listening. I thought, it really does sound good. It really, really does sound really good. But it sounds like a record.
Yeah.
And then they'd be playing and holding notes and there was nothing was happening.
Okay.
It was like, that should be feeding back like a banshee at this point.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that should really be going into some sort of resonant interest. And there's just nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds like a record. What's the point of that? Anyway, that's I won't bitch anymore about that. But I also would, just to finish that point, I get it. Well, I don't get it because I don't play stadiums. But if you play giant venues, I do understand the need
for control
to do it in a different way.
Yeah.
Night after night, people paying. You just can't have stuff going wrong, can you? Really, and it's got to be consistent.
Yeah.
And when you're that, maybe people do sort of want to hear a record really, with some people moving around in the distance.
Maybe.
I don't get it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Chris Smith. Chris, how are you, buddy?
Hi, Chris.
I presume it's you, Chris. We went to watch David Gilmour with Chris in London
Yes, that's right.
a while back.
Amazing.
So I hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for your generosity. He says, I just received my first luthier-built acoustic
Wow.
from Rory Dowling of Taran Guitars in Scotland. He says it hits like a five-finger death punch. Cradled in a lush pillow of swirly harmonics. And Echo, Dan, thanks for inspiring me after following your acoustic build. Nice.
Lovely.
Taran Guitars. I don't know Taran Guitars.
Yeah, that
Or Taran, maybe.
that was such a, after wanting Johnny Kincaid to build me a guitar for so long, to finally have that done. And it did its first gig at the Danalogs. The first time it was
Oh, really?
been on stage. Yeah, that's the first time that guitar's been on stage. That
Sounded
was-
great.
Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah, but I played that guitar all the time. And it's such a... Having a guitar that is resonant enough, and you do with electrics, I find, having them around the house, if they're resonant enough that you can just pick them up and play them acoustically, and that they're great. But having a really great acoustic that when you pick it up, you get lost in it. It's a really special thing. If guitar is your thing,
They are lovely.
it's something to keep a lookout for.
I like on Rory's site there are no prices. Yeah, they look amazing, Chris. Congratulations
Yeah,
on your new
well
guitar.
done.
What a lovely thing. Johnny T. He says, I'm anticipating Dave Gregory and Paul Stacey episodes. We filmed an episode with Paul about 2 years ago, and we never finished it for a few reasons, and we've been talking ever since about finishing it. Maybe we should just start again. But there was some gold in that episode.
There was absolute gold. There's some things he wants done to his rig, and I just have to find a couple of days where he can get it to me, so I can finish a few things off for him. And so far our diaries haven't converged, but it will happen. He's such an inspiring musician, and I just love his attitude, and I've always been a massive fan of his guitar playing.
He was playing down here just recently and doing 3 gigs, so he stayed at my place while he was doing it. And we didn't talk about guitar at all. We talked a lot about Zen Buddhism and other types of Buddhism.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about intermittent fasting.
A little bit about fasting,
Yeah.
mostly about meditation.
Right.
Yeah. And Dave Gregory, there's not any immediate plans to have Dave back, but it would be great to have Dave back at any time.
Yeah. Love Dave.
Sweetheart.
Yes, he sent me a message because he was going to come down to Danalogs, but he got caught up to something else.
Todd Roy says, Danalogs, ? Dan's band.
Yes.
Who are great, by the way.
We've got 3 gigs before the end of the year, which
Nice.
is nice. It'll be fun.
We shall publicise them in due course.
Yes, indeed.
Chris says, Chris is coming to an experience day. Awesome, man.
Brilliant.
Be great to see you. He says, I can't believe it will be a year since David Gilmour. I know.
No way, really.
I know. Don't. Well, I was talking to Marcus Reeves on text message over the weekend, and when we built that fuzz face was 3 years ago. That fuzz face.
No way.
Well, that's what YouTube
Well,
said.
how many years do you think it's been since Japan? Just off the top of your head.
Well,
Don't think about it.
I'll say 5, but I know it's more.
It's 8.
Yeah.
It's 8. We were there 8 years ago today.
It's your birthday.
Tomorrow.
Dan's birthday tomorrow.
Ah,
I remember that because it was your birthday
in Japan.
in Tokyo.
that's right.
Yeah. Happy birthday to
Thank
Dan
you,
for
mate.
tomorrow.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Insert gag about being older than you are here. Are you doing anything?
I'm coming here.
Oh yeah. Have you bought yourself a gift?
No.
What?
No. Oh, dude. I do clay pigeon shooting on every other Friday afternoon with a friend of mine. And about a year ago, I bought a shotgun, which was really nice. Anyway, I was shooting last week and I went bang, and both cartridges went off at the same time. I went, I'm like, oh God. Cracked the stock of the gun.
No.
And I took it in to the end and said, oh, I think something's happened. He goes, yeah, mate, that gun's done.
Oh no.
So apparently they can fix it. So I might get that repaired.
They can restock it, can they?
They'd have to repair that one.
Right.
It's not worth getting a new stock
Right.
done. They're like £800 to get a new one made.
Okay.
Yeah, so I might. Lovely.
But
Let's say happy birthday. Thank you, everyone. That's lovely.
But presumably your Purdy pair was like 40 grand in the first place.
No, I think I paid like £600 for
You
that.
got a Range Rover with it all decked out with like bird walnut and stuff.
Steve,
Placed for Spaniel.
I didn't know this, right? There's because I'd never shoot an animal. The clay pigeon thing is really
You'll
fun.
eat plenty of them, but
I'll
you never
eat
shoot
them,
one.
but I'm no interested in shooting them. You're saying, yeah, but anyway, I didn't know this, but my friend was looking at like a shooting day, and he said they get there at like 10 in the morning, like an hour before the shooting starts, and they just start drinking. And the Range
drinking.
Rovers have got this, they fold down the thing and out comes all the booze. And they just drink.
Have you any idea how
all
expensive
day.
those days
Oh,
are?
yeah,
The
they're
good
thousands.
Yeah.
It's
There's-
insane.
where I live, it's all around. And a lot of the estates and stuff. And you see them turning up in there like, once you get to the top of the Range Rover tree and they can't charge you anymore, then there's the Range Rover customization people who can then charge you double for whatever the top end of a Range Rover is. And literally all like bespoke furnitured out in the back with all
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
and all that like perfect spaniel sat there, Purdies, the whole thing. It's quite an interesting it's an interesting subset of human behaviour.
Yeah.
And that's not, I don't mean to pass any judgment on the shooting itself because,
It's like
that is
golf.
what it is. But
It's very similar to, the vibe is very similar to golf.
Yeah.
Just louder.
yeah,
But I really enjoy it. It's a great way to finish off the week, just to go and blow some stuff up and then go home and have a gin and pass out for the couple of days.
nice.
Yeah. James Bless says it's a rich person's pastime. No, so the way that I do it, it really isn't. The gun wasn't expensive. My mate and I split the clays between us. But I think with ammo, it's about £30
Oh, that's all right.
each time we go out.
Yeah.
It's,
Do that on
Fine.
half a round of drinks these days.
yeah. Oh, man. Okay, let's not go there.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the birthday wishes, everyone. You're all so lovely. Thank you. Basil Tiffany says, I bought an $1,100 pedal. I can't criticise don't top hobbies.
What will it be worth in 10 years though, Basil? That's
There
my
you
question. Nice shotguns, good guitar pedals, good guitars. Buy right, don't lose too much money.
There you go.
Right, let's keep going. Sheridan's TV says, after 20 years as a jazz chorus person, I've acquired a tube amp, a 90s Vibrasonic. Oh, what a cool amp. They're not very common. Where did you get that from then? He says, your passion and knowledge sharing led me here. Thank you. Mick, have you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance? Adam, yes, I have.
Yeah, what do you think of that one?
It was a long time ago,
Yeah.
so I can't remember.
Okay.
But I would remember liking it. I think any of that stuff that unfolds
Presents.
presence
Yeah.
is interesting, and
Yeah.
it's about the it's a signpost, isn't it? So any understanding or any meaning in the world is universal and is the same, and how you get to it is the signpost. So if Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is your signpost, brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll read it again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll read it again. There was a book called Zen Guitar written as well, which I've also read. But yeah.
James Bless says, I meant more the full thing, Day on the Hill. Oh yeah, when you do that thing, then that's outrageous. But the clay pigeon thing you can do on the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hope you are enjoying your Vibrasonic.
Yeah, unreal.
Sheridan's. I mean, it would be okay to not love it as much as your JC. That if that is the outcome, because we play what we love, don't we? And we play it. But they were really cool amps, those Vibrasonics. Chris Turner. Hey, Chris. How are you, buddy? He says, hi, I've reached a point in my tone journey where I've started to think what I need is the sound of a sitar to play Steely Dan. Any pointers?
Okay.
Dan Electro did one, didn't they?
So, Electro-Harmonix did the Ravi sitar, and I really liked it. And it has the drones in there as well. It's a really cool sounding thing.
It's called the Ravish
sitar.
Ravish Sitar by Electro-Harmonix.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Electro did one. Did they? Pedal, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. And yeah, they did. It was called the Sitar Swami. Catlin Bread look like they do one called the Kama Sutra GE. Is that one? Or of course you could go the full hog and get a choral sitar guitar. There was various remakes of them done. If you're not familiar with this sound, check out the James Dean Bradfield interview that we did with James from the Manics. And he plays, they do a song called Tsunami. And in that he plays the sitar. And it's just a beautiful sound.
Yeah. We saw, when we were in New York with Andy Timmons, he played a song by Pat Metheny, which was on sitar. And it's got... Andy's got this electric sitar. Really wonderful, wonderful sound.
No, I don't think the Catlin Bread is... No, the Catlin Bread one is not. So, Electro-Harmonix, Dan Electro, sitar pedals. Probably not that dissimilar from a 12-string simulator, and it's going to get you close enough.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you've got a blend control on the sitar sound, so you can actually turn the sitar sound off, and you can play and have drones. Just pick because on a sitar you've got these open strings called drones, and they resonate harmonically with what you're playing.
I wonder if there's anything mechanical that exists, because what the sitar is the strings touching a piece of metal as it goes over the bridge, right? So if you could actually fit something to the guitar that makes a sitar-y sort of noise. I can't do both. You play. Play something exotic.
Okay.
That's working.
It's great. Great.
So that's just putting a bit of metal on the string. So you might be able to do something like that. If you had a jazz master that had a string mute, maybe you could...
Oh, use it. Put a little metal thing on the string.
Put something metal on the string.
Yes, I love that.
That might work. You've probably played some absolutely evil ragas there, Dan.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like raga. It's out, by the way, isn't it?
It is.
Is it? Can you go and watch it yet?
I know you can in America. Is it out here? Apparently, his Go to 11 thing is now his pedal board.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Johnny T says Brian May used a piece of metal or a string under the saddle of his acoustic on White Queen for that effect.
Oh, cool.
Aluminium tape on the Jazz Master Mute, says the Hobo Roadie. Yeah, I think this is all good.
Like it.
This is all good.
When I was at music school, we had an Indian. Were they a trio? There was 4 of them. There was a tabla player,
Oh, tablet is such a sound, isn't it?
singer, sitar, and there was one more. Tabla, singer, sitar. It was the most extraordinary thing.
Yeah.
And they were having conversations
Yeah.
musically.
Yeah.
They were as free talking as we are just talking. It was, I'll never forget it. Rhythmically,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And there was a thing where everyone stopped playing and they just were speaking the rhythms. You know,
Yeah, that's the thing with tabla, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a guy I used to see on Instagram who did that. It's just amazing.
It is
really,
amazing.
really amazing. Morley Robertson, hello Morley. He says, D&M, great show on Friday. I'd like to see a show on the most hated overdrives. Any in particular you'd say fit that description? Some years ago I would definitely say there were, but I think what we've learned over the years is that it's never the pedal, it's just how you're using it.
Yeah.
So I think both Dan and I are now probably at a point where we could get a pretty passable sound out of anything. And then you know, for me it would be anything digital that just doesn't have any harmonics or whatever. But then again, how you're using it, it would have absolutely brilliant application used in a different way. So I suppose that would be the redemption of the show, wouldn't it? Because you don't want to go, here's a load of crap you don't want to see, goodbye. It's got to be, here's a load of crap we think is crap, but actually it's really brilliant. That would have to be the arc of the story. What would you choose as an overdrive you don't like that you actually dislike?
That's a great question.
I'm not sure I have any, because you'd be tempted to say something like Metal Zone but you get
hear 'em.
fantastic noises out of those things.
Absolutely. That's where I am. I'm going to sit firmly on the fence on this one, because there's an application for everything.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Legends, says Chris Costabile. Hi, Chris.
Thank you, mate.
Do you think we'll ever have surround sound or Atmos-based pedals? Why or why not? I can't wait to try wet, dry, wet, wet, wet.
What a great idea.
Wishing I was lucky. Well, analog bands are already Atmos,
Oh, dude, I've just had an idea.
aren't they?
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, you don't necessarily hear them from behind, but what you're hearing is a three-dimensional sound source coming from multi directions, especially if there's any reflective surfaces. So I think the whole point of Atmos and 5.1 is where that's not possible is to throw the sound around you. Although I suppose there's different things coming from when it gets decoded.
Right. 5 amps.
Yeah.
Right. I'll have a dry amp, left and right, and then a left air and right air.
Yeah.
Or even have the dry amp on its back in the center.
Didn't Neil Young do all this with his quadraphonic thing? Wasn't that what that was all about, partly?
Well, bands have done it. Like Floyd had something similar, and like a massive sound system that did it. But I just would love to hear it. I don't know how we would record it. You would get Stephen Wilson in, and he can do a 5.1 surround sound mix of it.
You can get those microphones. I forget what they're called, but you get the microphone and some decoding software, and it does it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of interesting.
That'd be
That's kind of
fun.
interesting. I mean, I suppose there's a definite. You would think that companies like Boss, TC, Meris, Zoom. I'm trying not to leave anybody out, but you would think that the technology leaders in guitar effects would be looking at VR at this point.
Yeah, okay.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would be. Because, I mean, this may already exist, and excuse me if it does, but VR headset, you're stood on stage at Wembley, and you're playing on stage at Wembley. Wouldn't that be what the world wants?
Yeah. And that as learning software. It's like you start off at a little pub there around the corner, and you progress up to Wembley.
So you can look around, you can see the band, you can... Surely that must exist. If it doesn't exist, why the hell doesn't it exist? Sheridan's TV said Lou Reed was into binaural sound, but that didn't quite come together. Yeah. Yeah. Dobley, says Moon. Exactly. Webley, says Evan Ward, to continue the gun theme. Yeah, okay. Doesn't exist by the looks of things. That is somewhat surprising. Steve Mass. Hello, Steve.
Hello,
I
Steve.
need to reply to you, Steve, and my apologies for not doing so far. He says, would you rather be remembered for writing a great riff or a great lyric? Lyric every day of the week for me.
The riff is
Hello,
interesting.
Rosie. Hello, baby dog. You coming up then? You coming up? Come on then. Have a cuddle? No?
The riff is interesting, right? So
Here's Rosie.
if you...
Hello.
Hello, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. So if you write this,
Where's the people, Rosie? Where's the people?
I mean, that's... If you write something that changed music or just said something, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lyric for me.
yeah, riff for me.
Rosie Winkins. What are you doing? What? She's like, what? Bored now? Can we go home? I know. You've had a bit of a boring day today, haven't you? You did go for a nice walk with Lucy earlier, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah. Rosie's mad for hedgehogs at the moment.
Oh, is she?
They send her absolutely postal. And we've got lots of hedgehogs, which is great.
I'm really glad you have lots of hedgehogs.
Because, bless them, they're in a bit of trouble, the old
They are.
hedgehogs. They're properly prehistoric, aren't they?
Strangest animals.
Crazy things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full of fleas.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't they, Rosie? But they drive you crazy when you go out and find them late at night, don't they? Then you start barking and waking everybody up. And then trying to pick the hedgehog up, which doesn't ever go well. I know. All right, come on then. Get down. We've got to carry on with the show. Good girl. There'll be loads of people saying hello to you, Rosie. Eagle Ray Rob says hello. Buddy Blue says, please. Oh, hello, Buddy. He says, please include Rosie in every show from now on.
Yeah.
Whole lot of dogs, says John Fruin. Evan Ward. Thank you for being so nice about Rosie.
She's so lovely.
A magic thing.
Yeah.
Are hedgehogs called hedgehogs in America? Do they exist in America as the same thing? Do you have them in Australia?
Echidnas we have in Australia. And I think the Australian versions are a bit bigger.
Right.
But I don't know.
Marcus Lovedall says, what breed is Rosie? She is a mongrel, as the vet was so pleased to point out to me. I said, vet says, what breed is she? I say, she's a Sprocker Spaniel.
And he goes, oh,
Mongrel.
mongrel.
She's
really?
half Springer Spaniel, half Cocker Spaniel.
That's
Mongrel.
rude. That's just rude.
I know. Not a recognised breed. So, yeah, she's a Sprocker Spaniel. Half Springer, half Cocker. But mostly Cocker, I think. In America, I think you call them Field Spaniels, do you? Cocker Spaniels in America tend to have the bushier ears. We have a distinction between working Cocker Spaniel and show Cocker Spaniel. And the show Cockers have fluffier, longer ears and a fluffier head. And the workers look more like Springers. So, yeah. And a great working dog she would have been too, if she'd had the chance.
Oh, man.
She'd have been a brilliant airport dog. Anyway.
Talking about hedgehogs, James Bless says the Aussie version is bigger and can kill you.
What did I see? There was a thing on one of the socials saying, this is the most Australian thing I've seen. It's basically a dog trying to eat a snake while a crocodile is trying to eat the dog or something. It's like...
Did I show you that footage of my brother when he was out in the boat with the croc?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's like another day out. They had an inflatable, and this croc comes right up the side of the boat, out of the boat. It's like a big croc. And it's like, just another day on the river.
Yeah, no thanks. Mike Turner, hello Mike. Mike says, hello gents, I'm beginning a Partsacaster strap build and wondered if you could recommend pickups for a Knopfler / Chris Rea sound. Thanks, Mike.
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very strong connection between Knopfler and Chris Rea in that they're both their most famous strats were Fiesta Red, Rosewood Board, early 60s strats.
Yes, but what they also do with this.
So you'd be looking for something of that period. So a really, really lovely early 60s type Strat pickup.
Come on then.
My favourite ones at the moment are the Klopman 60 set by Andreas Klopman. But I think
They're pretty.
it's so easy to overlook Fender pickups. I think the Fender Fat 60s pickups
Fender Fat 60s are wonderful.
and the Fender Fat 60s Fender Custom Shop pickups are fantastic. And I think they can save a lot of heartache looking around the boutique makers. Apart from that, pick your boutique maker of choice, the one that you're drawn to and the one that you feel good about and the one you think reflects your kind of values, if you like. And they will have a set specifically for your needs. I think Bare Knuckle do a set, might even call it the Sultan set. Where are you? You're in Britain, so yeah, definitely have a look at Bare Knuckle.
Bare Knuckle, Monty's,
Have a look
Radio
at
Shop.
Monty's. Yeah, Radio Shop, and there's quite a few really good premium British makers. So I would start there. And genuinely, I know it sounds like a bit of a cop-out. Go with the brand that you feel good about, because I'm not saying all the pickups are the same, but your option to choose between 15 sets of pickups is very limited, very time-consuming, and it will get you nowhere.
Yep.
So pick a set, put them in there, and then play the guitar. Years of messing about didn't really get me anywhere. Well, it got me to that conclusion that actually they can all sound pretty good. And it might be that actually for whatever your particular guitar turns out being, one brand might be better, but we can't say what that is. So yeah, I'd say pick the brand you feel good about and you like the price of, and go with them. Obviously watch demos, listen to stuff. Personally speaking, I would say beware anything that offers you all the sound of a great 60s Strat pickup, but with... Don't do that. Because whatever that is going to stop making it sound like a great 60s Strat pickup. Just go for the original thing. Is that fair?
Completely fair.
You all right, Rose? I know, you want to go gnomes, don't you? But it's we still got a bit of time yet. You'll probably start barking in a minute, won't you? Good luck, Mike, and good luck with the build. Howdy, gents, from Telephonia, says Plink Stringley. Where is Telephonia? Is that a real place? Although, I believe I've watched every episode at least once. I don't remember. Bar seeing UK Roger Mayer pedals or past effects from Australia. Have you used the Mayer Voodoo Vibe Octavia or past effects recreations? I think we've had some past effects stuff, haven't we?
Elastic Mattress, I think. We had the Electric Mistress clone.
I've played most of the Roger Mayer pedals. You're right. I don't think we've had many, if any, Roger Mayer pedals on.
We've had his wah pedal on.
I don't think we featured it, did we? It's up there. It was up there.
Well, no, I've got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very, very... The Voodoo Vibe is very, very well regarded.
Yes,
isn't
it is,
Doesn't Landau use that? Well,
Yeah.
he uses
very,
one of the Voodoo, Mayer pedals.
It's when you dial it in, it's amazing.
Yes. Okay, Plink, your very extremely generous super chat. We'll put that towards trying to acquire at least one Roger Mayer pedal.
Okay.
We've
got one though. We've got his compressor limiter.
That's not really a guitar pedal.
No, it's not.
That's the RM58 limiter, which is quite a
Which is
special
amazing.
thing.
But I thought
We do have a wah-wah pedal, but yeah, I think it makes sense to get the Voodoo Vibe on.
Yeah.
There is going to be an upcoming Vibe show again because I know something's coming out, so maybe we'll acquire a Voodoo Vibe for that.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, and past effects, we've got some past effects stuff here, so we'll dig it out of the cupboard.
Yes.
Thank you, Plink, for your generosity. Johnny T says, Mick, your thoughts on P bass versus J bass versus Ricky? Johnny, it's a question I wish I could answer, but I don't have enough experience. I play a P bass because all my favourite bass players play P basses.
That's as good a reason as any.
And whenever I love the bass sound in a piece of music, it usually turns out to be a P bass. And having played in tons of bands over the years, my absolute favourite personal sound coming out of a bass guitar is a P bass into an Ampeg amp, and that's always been my favourite thing I've ever heard.
Nice.
So that's why I choose that. J bass, I think with the two pickups and the blend, I'm led to believe you can get a more sort of varied palette of tones. And then of course you get the PJs where they've got both. And the jazz of course has a slimmer nut traditionally. My P bass has a jazz bass nut width, so it's a bit easier. So apart from that, I don't really know. Rickenbacker, yes. Just yes. I mean, I don't care what they sound like. They just look fantastic. One of the gigs I did over the summer, the bass player had a Ricky and it sounded great.
Chris Squire.
So there you go. I'm not really into the overdrive thing like Lemmy or Chris Squire.
Yeah,
you know,
they both used 100-watt Marshalls as their bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like James Jamerson,
Yeah, man.
Willie Weeks. I don't know what Willie played, but James Jamerson, Willie Weeks, Pino Palladino. End of story.
Hey,
Woof?
pretty girl.
Was that a woof? Do you need a wee? Got a spaniel looking at me going, trying to tell me things. So yeah, I very nearly bought a Rickenbacker. I keep hovering over buying a Rickenbacker bass.
Really?
Yeah, because I just dig it.
Oh, they're so cool.
I just dig it.
Yeah.
But I can't spend any more money on bass gear. It would be ludicrous for me to spend any more money on bass gear.
Cliff Burton says Todd Roy. Good shout.
Cliff.
Yeah, he was a force.
So what I am not into is the whole
Ooh, that was noisy.
mid-range Warwick, like Jacko, right? That mid-range thing with a jazz bass. Enough. Just
Rosie, come on.
Jacko.
Yeah, completely.
Yes, all day long. But that whole Warwick mid-range, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Right, we'll go and do a wee. Dan can talk to the people.
Okay. So let me just see if there's any questions here. Todd Roy says, what's untapped for Friday's show, Mick? We had a challenge for Friday's show. It was like a small board challenge with 1 amp. It was really interesting. Yeah, again, I think Mick won because that's what he does. Let's see. Here we go. Dr. Mabelzik says, building my first parts caster strat. MJT hardtail body, nice. Squire CV neck. What do I need to know about compatible parts? HT bridges, pick guards, pickups. What will fit and what will not fit together. Interesting. You should have, I don't know where you got the parts from, but there should be some recommendations. Yeah, it's an interesting one because one challenge that was set to us a while ago was building a part something. And I've always wanted to build a special telly, like with a telly special with wide range humbuckers, 70s big headstock, but with a trem. And like a dark, worn sunburst. And I think that would be a really fun challenge. But yeah, it is one of those things because you've got imperial measurements and metric measurements, making sure that, you get all the right things. But there should be, whoever you're buying that stuff from, they should be able to point you in the direction. Like whoever you're getting the body from should be able to point you in the direction of pick guards that will fit. Just talking about parts casters.
Oh, yeah.
And what does fit and what doesn't fit.
Oh, God, Imperial and metric.
Yeah.
Make sure there's one set of stuff that will fit Japanese guitars. And I don't know about Chinese guitars, but then there's one set of stuff that will fit American spacing and dimensions. So it's usually fairly clear cut. It should be listed what they're drilled for. And by the way, I just want to say all my comments about bass playing and all of that comes from a place of very little knowledge, right? So I would never want to talk about bass guitar like I know what I'm talking about because it's a new thing for me. So good.
All good. Pedal, have you seen this Fender sponges, twin reverb sponges? Who is coming up with promotional material?
What? Fender have made kitchen sponges?
Ah, you stop it.
What?
Okay.
It looks like a video that Philip McKnight has done.
Okay. Bonnie Knight said, did you go to the Oasis concert? Yes, we did. And it was glorious. Absolutely glorious.
Really was. Really, really, really exceptional.
Yeah, I was so encouraged and enthusiastic after that. It was wonderful.
Leo Hanshill. Hello, Leo. He says, hi, guys. Any experience with the Boss MD2? Seems to get a lot of hate, but in its unusual design, and I love mine. What is the Boss MD2? Mega Distortion.
Ah.
Mega Distortion. So what is mega about it then?
The distortion.
Takes the bottom heavy distortion sounds heard in today's new school metal and pushes it to the extreme.
Extreme!
Extreme! So it must have some crossover with the
The heavy metal, the HM2.
And also the one that everyone moans about. The Metal
Okay.
Zone. So there's got to be some crossover between the HM2 and the Metal Zone, hasn't there? No, to answer your question, no, we have no idea. So it sounds like we should acquire one.
There's a whole bunch of unknown Boss overdrive pedals that we should hunt down. The dual overdrive that I got in Japan is just magic that no one knows about.
DSD2, is it, or whatever, something like that?
SD2.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of really groovy things
Yeah.
that are sort of have gone under the radar.
That are in the sea of gain.
Yes.
So, Leo, we don't know, sorry. So maybe we should. Maybe we should. Paul Matulovic. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Good to hear from you, buddy. Says, evening, gents. Was lovely to see you have a good old run through some pedals. Friday's episode. Would be nice to see a similar episode on your picks for pedals that run the gamut of gain from boost all the way to distortion. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Going to screenshot that. Yeah.
David Tompkins, the Boss Extortion. Yes.
I guess the middle of your question, Paul, is, or suggestion is, that some pedals are known as high gain devices, some as low gain devices, boost and stuff. What is there that covers it all in a really nice way? Yeah.
Oliver Boyson says he thinks it's a cross between a DS1 and a Metal Zone. Nice.
It's like a Sprocker Spaniel.
It's a mongrel.
Like the worst of all worlds.
Mongrel overdrive. The MOD one.
The worst of all worlds. Good to see some defence coming in for Warwick basses.
I heard... I went and saw a band called Transatlantic.
Get out of my frequency zone.
And the bass player from Marillion was playing bass in Transatlantic. And I'm sorry, Travis. Anyway, he was playing a Warwick and he sounded amazing. Very, very groovy.
Yes. Yes. Was there a question? Yeah. Okay. Square Wave Symphonies. Alex, how are you, buddy? Nice to hear from you as always. Germany. He says, hey, Legends, no question today. Just a small thank you for Friday's beautiful video. Feel free to take one from the chat. Much love from Alex. We will. Good to hear from you, mate. Then let us take one from the chat. Come on, there must be one here somewhere. Insert. See, now if this was a good TV show, we'd have some incidental music here that would play. Eagle Ray Rob says Novo apparently is making a bass. Oh, that's pretty cool. Did you answer what's on Friday's show?
Yes, the challenge.
Yeah. Not very many questions coming in. Okay, Todd Seeker. Hello, Todd. Tone Seeker. I am actually going to have my eyes tested tomorrow. I'm using 3 different pairs of glasses at the moment, and I'm going to say, sort this out.
But can you show them how you do that thing, though? Here you go.
I've got a pair of glasses from 20 years ago that I used to watch the TV.
Right.
I've got various readers. So my problem is, right, my screen is there. So given that I spend about 10 hours a day at a screen some days, the glasses have to be optimized for the screen, right? They're screen only and they can't be any good for anything else because that's what they are. Which means I can see stuff that's there. Here it's not in focus and over there it's blurry. So what I need to get is to sort these out so that I can get my screen glasses, and then I need some varifocals for far and close. and it's doing my head in. So anyway, that's why I can't read your name, Tone Seeker, which says, hello lads, I'm currently obsessed with the Gibson Johnny A signature. Any experience with that model? Now, is this like a double cutaway 175? Or have I got that wrong? It sort of kind of is. Smaller, maybe. Thin line semi-hollow, dual humbuckers and a gold Bigsby. I already like it. It has. Come on. Yeah, look at that. Wicked.
Wow. Oh, nice.
So it's like an SG 175.
Yeah.
Pretty groovy, isn't it?
That's great.
Don't know what the body width is. Maybe you can enlighten us. So it's, a 335 is 16 inches across. Collings I30 is 15.
I think that looks amazing.
So I don't know if it's a full... It does look full 16 actually. I don't know if it actually is or not. Just looking at where the controls are.
I have to compare it to one of the Barney Cassell models.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah. That
hints
vibe.
of Barney Castle, hasn't it? Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Would be good to try one.
Very cool.
Would be really great to try one.
I think we've got some Bonnie Knights out there engaging in chat. And new guitar player. I started on the journey. 17 years old. Go, Bonnie. That's awesome.
Yeah, and welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome to the fam.
Yes, indeed.
Paul Matulovic says, do you have astigmatism? Only against digital effects, generally.
Tone Seeker says it's a mini Castle design. Oh, there you go.
A common and generally treatable imperfection in the curvature of the eye that causes blurred distance and near vision. No, I don't, because when I've got my glasses off, Paul, I can see distance 20/20. I've got really, really good distance vision. It only starts to get not so good when I get to screen level, and then obviously very close. But it's getting noticeably worse. Anyway, the optician will tell me tomorrow, because they do all that now.
I'd like to carve out 20 minutes to go to an optician.
You'd like to what?
Carve out 20 minutes to go to an optician.
Oh, well,
I need to.
yeah, do it. Do it. There's some things that are just, a vast amount of my job is
Oh, yeah.
looking at things,
Yeah,
so I
completely.
need to be able to see. He said.
Have you noticed it getting worse?
Yeah, and that's because I'm knackered.
Yeah, okay.
And those of you out there will know, if you're exhausted, then your eyesight suffers, and that is definitely has occurred over the summer. So yeah, I think diet probably makes a huge difference as well, and fluid levels, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that really boring stuff you never cared about when you were young.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough moaning.
Good moaning.
Ossilorikanen, maybe. Hello, Ossi. Hello from Finland. Hello to Finland. Not a question, but a tip for you and all the other EV speaker lovers. Apparently the 80s DL10X elements are very similar to the famed EVM10Ls. Well, there we are. EVM10s. So 1980s DLX10X, apparently, EV. I know they tried to make some, didn't they, and in different ways to try and get the cost down. And there we go. Well, the good news is they're still extremely expensive.
Yeah. I've got the EV10 in the Princeton, and I just love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently the same for the DL12X. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Thank you for the tip. Stefan Savelda is last in for the super chats. I will just check that is, but I think it's the last one. Stefan Savelda says, hey folks, thoughts on morning pages to free mind for creativity like songwriting from the book Artist Way. From the book The Artist Way. So there's a book called The Artist Way. This is from KR from Austria. The Artist Way morning pages.
I have.
Oh, okay. For stream of consciousness journaling. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Are you aware of that?
No, but I'm into it.
Yeah. I you see it in TV. So you see people doing it and the journaling. So yeah, okay. So if anyone's interested in this, the idea of stream of consciousness journaling is to get your mind free and bouncy, for want of a better word, so that it's in a place that will enable creativity. So it's all about getting into a state of flow, because if your mind identified, i.e. if you're thinking about something, or something is troubling you, or your brain is involved in thought about something else, no creativity can occur in that state. It is argued by various people. Creativity only occurs in a flow state. So the idea of things like journaling and etc. and stuff like that is to help you achieve a flow state where your mind is free of the other distractions that means that creativity is not possible.
I read something really interesting last week about boredom and how boredom is such an essential part of creativity and just healthy brain activity. And we have, through technology and especially phones, just completely taken away our having any part of boredom with our brain. So on Saturday night, I turned my phone off and I didn't have my phone all day Sunday, and I felt fantastic. So I've come up with a couple of things that I'm not doing anymore on my phone. One of them is never taking the phone to the toilet again, ever.
For those of you who don't know Dan well, what he has just said is extraordinary, if you don't mind me saying. Dan is very seriously into his phone and attached to it. So I think that is an extremely positive step, mate.
Yeah, I just feel a lot better with, like,
Yeah.
just I'm in quite a stressful, such a busy thing going into Christmas and all that stuff, and with the business and everything, and I really feel, I feel the weight of everything going on, and I look at the phone, I'm just going, I just don't want you.
It's more
I don't
weight.
want all the stuff.
It's the heaviest thing we carry.
Yeah. And so, and I felt without having a phone-free day, and I went, I really like this. I really like it.
It's great.
Because I would find myself, I was terrible, I'd find myself stopping at lights and checking email.
Yeah. There's no police watching.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
if there was ever a space, it was like, just is everything okay?
Well, it's habit forming, isn't there? And to bring it back to your boredom observation, I would say there's a big difference between being bored and doing nothing. They're not the same thing.
Yeah. But giving your brain space
Just
to
being.
imagine.
And I know I'm going to sound like a hippie now. It's being. You're just being.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a quiet moment, you might be waiting for an appointment. You could be, I wouldn't suggest doing it sat at traffic lights because you need to be alert when you're driving. But what I think what you're suggesting is that any moment of not doing anything specific,
You don't have to fill it. Exactly.
is okay. I've got 2 seconds. I can check my phone.
Yeah.
And actually, that whole thing about being bored, or doing nothing, whichever way you want to put it, is utterly vital.
Completely.
Utterly vital for any kind of creativity and any kind of space.
Yep.
Because we're so consumed in our brains, in the way things are now, given that we are constantly connected to some kind of technology. There's no space around anything you do.
Yeah.
And you have to have space around the thoughts in your mind. They have to be over there so you can observe them. If you're in the middle of it, you can't observe anything. You have no perspective. And I think that is at the root of so much suffering, of unhappiness, of people's distress with technology.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
really do think that's at the heart of that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, mate. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really amazing. There you go, people. Try and have phone-free days.
Yeah.
If you can. And you can.
You
You just-
absolutely can.
You've got to just educate people that you're doing it. And they can wait.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on call as a paramedic, don't do it. Definitely don't have a phone-free day. But, you know, if you're not in a life or death situation, do it. Oh, Book of Act was playing this lovely thing that was a bit like that the other day.
Just better.
No. But it was all kind of low string stuff and like close harmony and dissonance and stuff. I don't know what it was, but
Ah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's so...
something like that, I don't know.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That kind of thing. I was just imagining that with a tiny bit of delay and harmonic tremolo. Good. That's all the super chats. Thanks for being with us, everyone.
Yes.
Goes back to the theme of arc, says Matt Swanton. Yes, it does. Analog, real, and communal. Deja saying Guthrie Trapp has been having revelations with phone-free periods. One of the modern greats probably has a point. Yeah, yes, I could talk for weeks about it, and I am going to devote some of my life to studying it. But we have been the guinea pigs for this thing,
Yep.
and it has caused, through our own choosing, untold suffering. It is a life taker. And a life enabler. All we have to do is get the right balance.
Balance.
Okay, well, on that happy note, we'll see you on Friday for a challenge
See you
video.
on Friday, everyone.
It's a remake of an old one that we did before, and it's good fun, if a bit exasperating at points. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry about the glitching on the video on Friday. Something happened in the upload that wasn't visible to us, and it was the first 3 minutes of the video were a bit shonky, so apologies for that. And by the time we'd noticed, it was too late to pull it down and re-upload it again, so it is what it is. It is not a life and death situation, Daniel.
It's okay.
It is enjoying the electronical guitar. Cool. Thanks for being with us, BV. Thanks so much as always.
Yes, mate.
And yeah, we'll see you on Friday for more shenanigan. Nice. Close up, Dan.